Hello there, I'm Simon Le Bon from Duran Duran. You're listening to 89 FM Radio Rock.
Simon, how would you describe the musical evolution of Duran Duran over these more than 4 decades of story?
Um, I would describe it as an ever-changing love affair with one of the most beautiful things in people's lives, in especially our lives. That is our love affair with music.
And Duran Duran has always been ahead of the curve in terms of style and fashion. How would you describe the relation between image and music nowadays?
Nowadays, well, I think that in a lot of ways, the mainstream music and style have become quite generic. And if you want to find something interesting and different, you have to look on the fringes and maybe not the mainstream artists.
You recently released the deluxe version of Dance Macabre, a Halloween themed album. How was the creation process behind it, and what were the main challenges?
Well, I mean, I think when you talk about main challenges, they're all personal challenges, really. So, for me, the personal challenge was getting my head round the fact that it was somebody else's baby. It was a very personal thing, and because this project was very much driven by Nick, it was his baby. But as soon as I could get over myself and start thinking about the actual songs we were doing and the new music we were creating, it became much more exciting. And I thought it was a good theme. It became a very good theme for the whole thing. You know, a dark theme. It's not something Duran Duran are usually associated with. You know, we have songs like Rio, which is like a party song full of color and brightness, whereas Dance Macabre is definitely a dark album.
The album includes collaborations with artists like Nile Rodgers and Victoria De Angelis from Måneskin. How did these collabs influence the sound and directions of the album?
Well, let's start off with Nile. Nile is a huge, impressive force in music. He really, really takes you to a different place with the way he plays guitars, his ideas, his musical ideas. You know, the track Black Moonlight has got so much of Nile in it. Him and John worked very well together. They came up with that chord progression between them, and that led the melody. It really led the melody that I sing over it. So his influence is incredible. Victoria's got a different thing, you know. She's a slight wild and punky, you know. And we were doing, and of course with the song that she's on, Psycho Killer, it's a cover version. So it was a different thing. She brought her, you know, rip it up attitude to the song.
And as you said, the album also includes covers as Psycho Killers and Evil Woman by Yellow. How was the selection process for these tracks?
I personally I was a bit pissed off with it actually because none of the songs I wanted to do got chosen. Well, actually, that's not true. Let's retake this. I came up with Psycho Killer. I've been playing that song for months, for years and years and years, actually, at people's parties and things. When I pick up an acoustic guitar, it's because it's actually quite an easy song to play. That was probably my choice on the album. Everything else was basically chosen by Nick and John. I wanted to do Witchy Woman, you know, the Eagles song, but that got canned. I think there are some songs that were just so obvious for us to do, like because we are such fans of the bands who did them in the first place. Let's say Spellbound, the Susie Sue and the Banshees song. That is the song that we all loved, and we've all loved for years and years and years. We think it's one of Susie's best songs ever. So that was an easy one to choose. And each song, each cover version has got a bit of a different story to it. I think the ELO song, Evil Woman, John came up with that, and he wanted to do something by a Birmingham artist because, you know, Duran Duran is a band from Birmingham, and so is Electric Light Orchestra and Jeff Lynne. And that was a big part of why that song was chosen.
Mm-hmm.
I could go on. I could go through every single song on the album, but I won't.
Simon, you visited New on Monday for this release. How was it to revisit a classic track from the band with a fresh perspective?
I think what was important was that we didn't lose the what we didn't lose when you redo one of your own songs. It is quite a problem. It's an issue because you don't want to just do a facsimile of the original version, but you also don't want to lose the thing that made it good in the first place. And we had to be very careful, sort of, with what we threw away, and we didn't throw away too much of the old song. So a lot of the sounds on it, I mean, the middle of it is very similar to the middle of the original song. That's an example. But, you have to be careful. You have to be careful with these old songs because number one, they are in a way quite fragile, and in another way, you just got to remember that these are songs which are loved by your audience. You've got to be respectful.
With the release of Dance Macabre, the band explored darker and more experimental sounds. How was the fans' reaction to this new musical direction, if I can say that?
I'm not 100% sure what the fans think of it. I mean, so far I haven't heard anything bad about it. So and fans really wanted to come and see our Halloween show and come to this little tour that we just completed in America. It was very, very popular with our fans. So I think, from what I could gather, that the fans are really enjoying it.
Talking about Duran Duran's legacy in musical history, how would you describe it?
Well, I haven't got a clue. I don't think in terms of legacy. That's for somebody else to think about. That's for the reviewers and other people. I just get out there and play the songs and the music I love.
And Simon, the band has been exploring digital platforms and social media to connect with fans. How do you see the importance of these tools nowadays?
I don't really engage with social media at all. I'm not a fan of it. I'd rather live a real life in real time than live a virtual life. So I let somebody else do all that stuff. That Nick is very good. He's very good at social media. I think John is very good too. Actually, no, John's kind of withdrawn a little bit like me. It's not, for me. It's not my favourite thing. I like the real life. I like my idea of what I want to do with my time is get on stage and sing in front of people. So as close as that as I can get, I try and keep my life as close to that and not spend too much time looking at a computer screen.
Now, talking about the tour, do you have plans to bring it to South America, especially Brazil?
We've always got plans to bring the show to South America and especially to Brazil because we love Brazil. We absolutely love it. We've got a fantastic audience, particularly in Sao Paulo. Where we have an amazing audience there. Not so much in Rio. I don't know why, but we need to work on that one, I feel. The thing is, it's one thing having plans, and it's another thing putting them into action. So if the song does okay on the radio, I think that gives it much more chance that we will come and play play shows in Brazil.
And Simon, to finish, can you send a message to your Brazilian fans who are eagerly waiting to see Duran Duran live again?
Yeah. Okay, this is my message to Brazilian fans. I heard that the song Matter of Feeling is quite loved by Duran fans in Brazil. So next time we come to Brazil, I am going to make sure that we play that song.
Okay, we're definitely waiting for that. Thank you so much, Simon. Thank you for your time.
It's my pleasure. Nice to speak to you, Julia. Bye.
89, a Rádio Rock.